Welcome to day 30 of the 77-day video challenge. I've picked as the topic this evening, make it make sense. This evening I watched The Greatest Showman, movie that came out about 4.5 years ago. I'd seen it before, and I thought maybe when I saw it the first time, about 4 years ago, that I just missed something. Because people had raved about how fantastic this movie was, how much they loved every song and all of the special effects, all of the digital stuff that was inserted in it. Weren't those digital elephants fantastic, and the choreography spot on? And this evening I kind of got it. And I realized that maybe this had something to do with the circumstances under which I saw it the first time. I saw this movie, The Greatest Showman, a little over 4 years ago, just a few days after my dad died. And I was kind of numb. I realized I need to feel something. And so I decided this movie that people love is going to stir me up. It's going to get me motivated. I'm going to feel joy. I'll feel grief. I'll feel wonder. I felt nothing. The discussion that's going to take place over the sermon series that's coming up in my church around this movie, The Greatest Showman. I'm curious to see where this will go. I've had experiences like this before where people have raved about a movie or a book, and I've experienced it. I've I've tried to understand it, and I missed the point. Uh, I recall that there have been a couple of experiences like this where I just didn't quite get it. It wasn't until the third time that I saw Gone with the Wind before I said, hey, I liked it. The first time I saw it, I was about 5 years old. Saw it with my family, and the only thing I remembered about it was the burning of Atlanta. Spoiler alert. Atlanta catches on fire. The second time, I watched it in a theater that was overcrowded, and that was just one part of why I didn't enjoy it the second time. Finally, I just sat down and watched it on VHS about 30 years ago. I get it. Now I get it. That's not such a bad movie after all. It's not scary, and it doesn't have too much kissing in it. A book that eluded me because I didn't understand why people loved it so much was Infinite Jest. The book is over 1,000 pages long, and people have raved about it for ages. They say it's the funniest novel ever. I had to check it out of the library 5 times in order to finish it. And I am convinced to this day it was a meandering piece of stoner trash. I hated it, and I have the regret of checking that book out for 5 occasions in order to wade through it. I have that regret, that self-hatred that has settled on me because of that experience. And yet somehow I think maybe I will read that book again one day, just to see if it was really as bad as I thought, if it was really as pointless as I am pretty sure it is. I've shared things like this of my own things that I loved. One of my favorite books ever, The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon. Love that book. I've read it twice. And a few years ago, I participated in a discussion of that book. And somebody said, "Oh, I just did not get it. It didn't make sense to me." And I realized maybe it was the circumstances because he had not actually read the book, but listened to it on audio. And I'm like, okay, the experience of turning the pages and savoring every page as I did, he did not have that experience. And the structure of that book really doesn't lend itself to that sort of presentation. So I recognize that sometimes there are extenuating circumstances that shadow how a person experiences something that other people love. This is something that I have to remind myself that maybe I just don't get it. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood. Maybe I wasn't in the right environment or open to the right experience to embrace this art. And sometimes it's just mechanics. A few years ago, a coworker told me, "David, I don't think that you're hard of hearing. I think you're just hard of attention." And I think he may have been right in large part. That maybe I need to open myself up to understanding another person's perspective and appreciating the circumstances under which I may or may not appreciate a particular work or a particular point of view. I have to open my mind. I encourage you to open your minds to embrace something that's unfamiliar, that may be hard to palate. But I think that we will be better people if we take the time to savor what other people love, respect that, and perhaps, if we dare, revisit that. I look forward to seeing you on day 31 of the 77-day video challenge. Have a great evening.